Okay, I'm going to tell you that my dog is panting heavily. It sounds a lot more exciting than it is. So be prepared for that. Tinker Boo Bears was just outside. And it's hot. It is so hot in Minnesota. It's weird. Okay. Just getting this all set up. I got my suspenders on. Hi, everyone. Hi, Angela. Hi, Leslie. I don't usually do videos middays because I know that everyone's busy and living your lives and working and all the things. But hey, Dorothy. I have been actually meaning to do what I am doing since 9:30 this morning. And it just 1:38. Not bad. Not bad. This morning, Harbor had dental work. So Harbor is my 5-year-old. None of our children have ever had cavities before. And little Harbor the barber has 2 on baby teeth. And don't we as parents kind of feel like not the best parents if your child has a cavity? I was like, oh my gosh, I think we brush his teeth really well. I think we're always doing it. I felt so guilty. I was like, how did this happen? I mean, meanwhile, my subscribers know that he's eating chocolate like this. He's like, but I brought him in this morning and they're like, is it okay if he has the laughing gas? And I said, it is, but true story, I can't have laughing gas because it gives me a fight or flight feeling. And I've had it one time and I thought about, and this is a true story, I thought about ripping my clothes off and running in the parking lot. So I said that, I told her, the dental hygienist, that my reaction and she goes, well, we'll certainly watch for that. And I was like, okay. Oh. Hi, everyone. And so then they did the one. So they call it like a bear nose, a monkey, an elephant, some sort of animal. Oh, hi, Leanne. Thank you for saying that. That is so sweet. So he was laying. Rachel, actually, he was laying there and like his arms. He was like, look at my arms. Look at my arms falling. And I was like, oh, yikes. And I was like, I had the chuckles because I was like, and she's like, do your arms feel heavy? And he's like, I do. I can't lift them. Like I'm like, you're higher than a kite, little snickerdoodle. So they filled the one crown right away. I read crown. Filled the one cavity right away. It was super easy. And then the second one, the dentist is like, so the cavity is way deeper than we thought it was going to be. So we have to take out part of the nerve. Dental friends, there's a name for it. So he goes, I'm going to have to numb this. And then, actually, that reminds me, we'll give you an antibiotic, which I have to pick up. And so then, and I've never had a cavity. So I don't know this feeling. So he was doing it and Harbor's little legs were kicking and he's like, that hurts. And as parents, do you get that feeling in your stomach when your kids are in pain? Oh, it just like hurts my tummy. It hurts my tummy. And I was like, so his whole side of his face, hey, Robin, the whole side of his face was puffy from the Novocaine and stuff. And so then when he sat up, I went over and I put my hand on his and I'm like, buddy, you did such a good job. And he's 5 now. And he looked at me and he goes, Mom, you don't need to hold my hand. And I'm like, shots fired. It's the first time he's ever said that to me. Shots fired. So then we walked out and I will admit, I promised a Target trip when he was in the throes of his pain. I said, let's get something special for Harbor tonight. So judge away. But Harbor loves a shopping trip to Target. It's like his favorite thing ever. So I was throwing it all out there. I threw it all out there. I was like, you can have whatever you want, sweet angel. A pony, a jet plane, name it. So when we were walking out, he goes, Mom, will the kids at school tease me for my face? Because it was like, he couldn't feel it. And also at 5, I've never heard him say anything like that before. Like, he's just like such a happy-go-lucky, like, goofball. I've never heard him be worried about being teased. Yes, Sheila, we are. So then we have to go back. We have to go back in a month, and then they're going to put a real thing in it. Or is it a real, I don't want to say it wrong, like a real crown or... And the Harbor was like, it's in my baby tooth. I shouldn't have it very long. And he's like, well, it's in a molar. You're probably going to have it till you're 12. So yeah. So that was the dentist. Oh my gosh. I was just looking at something. So that was the dentist. I was not expecting to come home to that, but also on another note, tomorrow, Sawyer is getting braces tomorrow. I'm not sure if I shared this. Sawyer needs a full month of braces. And so we brought him to the orthodontist, and she said he's not ready because he still has 8 baby teeth. So they're going to just put 4 braces on the front. Hey, Laura. They're going to put 4 braces on the front and straighten out the ones that are, he's feeling embarrassed. So that's happening tomorrow. And I am going to get a quote for Invisalign. I'm copying my friend Adrienne. Just kidding. She's actually copying me, but with dental work. But I have, normally I don't talk about teeth. Or do I care about teeth? But it's just really a lot going on in my world right now with teeth. So yeah. And I don't know if this is the norm, but like we have no coverage for orthodontia. None. So I felt like they like slid the proposal across the table. Like, thank you. How fun. There was something that Sawyer asked me for, and now every time he asks me, I'm like, you don't get that, you're getting braces. Hi, Annie. How does Cooper handle the dentist? Funny that you should mention that, because I was feeling kind of a little guilty when Cooper hasn't been to the dentist in a while. There's a beautiful program here where I live called Autism Smiles, and it's started by a phenomenal mother, an advocate. Her name is Miranda, and she is amazing. Her son is adorable, and she's amazing. And she started this program called Autism Smiles. And we brought Cooper to that, and he was not a cooperative little cherub that he is. He just screamed and yelled. So I actually weirdly texted her today, and I said, I have to get Cooper back in the dentist. I'm like, should I do Autism Smiles again? So we'll see what she says. A lot of kids like Cooper have to be sedated to have their teeth cleaned. And you would coordinate that. You would find a dental clinic that understands autism and does that. Cooper has never been sedated for dental work. The first couple times number of times he had his teeth cleaned, he was at least cooperative in the sense that he left his mouth open and screamed. So they were able to clean everything with the mouth open. Like, I don't think they've ever had x-rays. So like with Sawyer, like he has 8 baby teeth. I have no idea with Cooper. So maybe we'll have to do the sedation. It's always so much. Always so much. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Valerie. I just got home yesterday from a phenomenal weekend. I will not change my tune on that. I had the most amazing weekend with the most amazing women. And there is something about being with women who are going through something similar. And I think, I have lots of friends in different areas of my life. I have friends that I've been friends with since kindergarten. I have friends from college or different jobs. The friends that I have made who have a child with a disability, I will tell you, it's like this invisible thread that's like sewing us all together. Oh my gosh. And I laughed so hard. And also, I'll tell you, this is a true story. I planned the retreat with my co-partner Amanda, and then our friend Robin helped, and people, lots of different people help us do things. But I'm going through some personal stuff with my family, and I didn't know if it was the right time for me to go, even though 105 women were coming to this camp. It's our third one. And I just didn't know if I could leave my family at the time. So on the drive there, I was feeling really anxious. And like, my husband is so great. He was like, when you get there, you're going to be so happy. Like, when you get there, it's all going to fade away. And he was right. It's a 4-hour drive for me. And when you get about 3 hours into it, you're all of a sudden, the trees get taller and the roads get more narrow, and it's just beautiful. And your cell phone doesn't always work as good as it should, which is scary. And for the last 30 minutes of it, you're like on like practical, like farm roads. Like, everyone can relate to this. You're like in fields driving, and then you're like, is this right? Is this right? There's no speed limits. You just go. And then you arrive at this just magical place. And as I pulled in, it says Moon Beach, and then Moon Beach, and Moon Beach. And it is actually a Christian camp. Our retreat is not Christian based. But so there's just these beautiful signs and messages. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you. And I actually stopped my car and I got out, and I just like, it sounds so cheesy, but I went and took a picture in front of this Moon Beach sign. And I just like finally paused, like, oh, I'm not worried about my straps. It's okay. I felt so just like a million pounds had been lifted off my shoulders. And I was like, my kids are going to be fine. I have a great husband. It was actually my anniversary. And 2 hours into the drive, I texted my husband. I said, happy anniversary. And he wrote back, yeah, same to you, babe. Funny how that all kind of changes the older you get. We should try to go out for dinner. Would that be nice? Be nice. We should try to do that. And then, when I pulled in, I saw my friends. And it was so lovely. And I pulled up the card at all the stuff, and like everyone just like helped me carry stuff in and into the lodge, and hugged my people, and it felt really good. And then like 75% 75 of the women had been there for 2 days, had been there the day before. And so they were all relaxed and like just like chill, and I was coming in hot. And what did we do right away? We just started checking the new people in, and we had dinner. And then we probably did one of the funniest things that I have ever done. We had a theme. It was Troop Beverly Hills. And everyone that wanted to, no pressure, changed into. And have you guys seen Troop Beverly Hills, for anyone? Phyllis? It is hilarious. It's a movie from my childhood, and it's about this Girl Scout troop that's in Beverly Hills, and like they don't like to do outdoor stuff, and they don't like to get dirty, and they don't need patches, and they just like, it is rented on Amazon. It is so funny. And so we all dressed up, and then we had got one of these, like, have you heard of these like giant blow up movie theater screens? And so we had an outdoor movie. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. And we bought a bunch of candy, and people could have an adult beverage if they wanted. We had popcorn, and we just sat outside and watched this movie and like laughed. And it was probably the first time And I can't even tell you how long that I just like sat amongst friends without feeling like I needed to be somewhere else, or I loved it. There were some shenanigans that night. I've been a little under the weather, so I went to bed. I went to bed. And then on Saturday, we did something new at the retreat that was really powerful. So normally we have keynote speakers. And the biggest issue we have when we get people together is that we want to connect people on commonalities. So we picked like 7 or 8 topics, and I can probably recite them for you. Teens, young adults, adoptive foster moms, girl moms, building community, nonprofit, severe, profound, marriage. I think that's all of them. And we picked someone to lead, and then we put them around the camp, and people could choose which ones they wanted to go to, depending what they wanted to learn. Did I say girls? I often think girl groups, we need more people talking about girls with disabilities. I don't think that happens enough. So that was a great group. And then we had AAC devices too. And we put them around the camp. And so I went to this group on adults, and I'll tell you, I am afraid of my son, what the future holds. I tear up, I choke up, I have a hard time talking about it. But IEPs, thank you, Stacy. I want to talk more about it. I want to dip my toe in. So I went to the adult group, and a lot of the mamas had like 16-year-olds, 20-year-olds. My friend Kara from Montana, her son was similar to mine. Katie, her son is similar to mine. But then I had like a 19-year-old, a mom of like a 19-year-old. And they talked about these programs that they're doing, and they never thought it would have been possible for their kids. Like one was like, so I said this wrong last night on my supporter live, but it was like, is it Project Hope and Project Life? Someone's probably watching. And so this mama who sat across from me, she was like, I never thought my son could do this. I never thought it. And now he's working at the hospital. And she's like, I think she said that he has to take like an Uber or a cab by himself. I mean, I was like watching and like holding in the tears and like smiling. And it was exactly what I needed. Like what I find hard about talking about the future is a lot of times it's really scary, or like talking about SSI and guardianship, it feels scary, or there's no hope, and these were just like real moms. Oh, Laura was in our group too. It was just like real moms, like talking. And I just listened mostly. I'm like, I don't have anything I just want to listen. And then, and so what was so great about it, I have goosebumps. Everyone knows I have goosebumps all the time, was that like these moms, suddenly they knew each other from across the group. And, then I tried to stop by every group. There was a lot. So I'm only one person, but then I made my way to the severe profound group. And I walk in, and Lori Hellman, I'm sure you all know the amazing Lori Hellman. She has a Facebook page. She was our keynote. She's written 2 books. She's just phenomenal. Her son, Skylar, I think is he 20? No, he's 21 because he had a margarita. She told the story about how he had his first margarita. And so she was leading the severe profound group, and I was supposed to lead it after her. But she's like a wealth of knowledge. And so I walk in this room, and there's like 20 women in there, like listening to Lori. And I was like, just going to sneak right in here. And I just like sat right in and listened to her talk about preparing for guardianship and preparing for to get him to get SSI and all these different parts. And Skylar's non-speaking. He's a speller, and he's considered severe profound. And, there was no apologies. It's really hard to talk about some of these challenging things unless you're in a group of people that totally get it. And she said something, every time I talk to Lori, she says something that changes me. She said, I'm so scared about Skylar going to a group home because I don't want him to think I abandoned him. And then everyone started crying because we do. Just sobbed. And I don't know. I think it just when I think of the gifts that being in the same room as these people have done for me, I'm so thankful that they came. It's scary to go new places, and it's scary to put yourself out there and to join. And I'm just so thankful for these women. And I want to be honest, it's not sad. Like, we weren't sad talking about severe, profound autism. We were laughing. We were sharing. We were, it was something again. We were just like telling stories and like getting fired up. And like, it's just so, I don't know. You're not alone. You are not alone. I just want to tell you that, even though it feels like that. And then, so the Breakouts was probably one of the best things that we've ever done. I think that we'll continue with that. Our only change is that we're going to make it, Jerry, we will definitely do the Breakout. So that's going to carry over. We're just going to make them an hour long because 30 minutes wasn't long enough. We're going to make them an hour. And then, two of my friends spoke about their new book. Hey, Kayla. They spoke about their new book. And then I did a breakout on my new book. And I read, and it's supposed to be a secret, but I read a chapter from my new book that I'm not supposed to talk about. I read What Does Forever Look Like? And I was really nervous to read it. Like, look at me. I'm like holding my fingers right now because I was nervous to read it. I didn't know when you're writing, it often feels like garbage, but everyone seemed to really like it. It was about, it ends with this story of, I'll see if I have it. Oh, do you want to hear the last tiny little part? I have it right here. This is from the retreat. Let me read this to you. Oh, hold on. I gotta find it. Sorry. I'm trying to find the last sentence that goes up to this. Okay, let me read this to you. It's really short. So this is the end of the book, the end of the book of my part, but I'll just read this really little part. I'm talking about Cooper, where he's going to live after we're gone. And what does that look like? Is that a group home? Is that, at what level will his siblings be involved? And so I cried a little bit when I read this. So this is way into the middle of it. So instead of hiding, I shared my fears and worries out loud every single day with my husband, my family, my friends, and my followers. I grabbed grief's hand and walked with her, exploring and feeling the feelings. I created scenarios of the future in my head and planned the best I could for each of them. And then I created one more scene in my head. I imagined it working out beautifully. I pictured my son safe and warm. I pictured his siblings gathered around him, hugging him and holding his hand, gasping at the train on the screen of his cell phone. I pictured him laughing this deep belly laugh while thrusting 2 fingers in the air and demanding 2 more cookies, the ones with the thick frosting. And I imagined him happy. A while back, Jamie and I found ourselves driving around a picturesque town for 20 minutes or so alone. We had no kids with us. There was no loud noise or fighting, no endless questions or music from an iPad. It was just us, driving around, looking at holiday lights, Christmas music playing softly. Eventually, we found ourselves in the parking lot of what looked like a brand new apartment complex located right on the river. It was breathtaking. After looking at the sign, we saw it was for folks over 55 years old. Our conversation became about the ease of living in a place like that. No grass to mow, no sidewalks to shovel. We even spoke of walking outside and taking our boat for an evening cruise. There were restaurants and bars and places to get coffee all around. A silence filled the air. My thoughts turned to Cooper. I'm sure Jamie's did too. The proverbial white elephant is always with us. We will never have an empty nest. Never. We sat for a while, taking in the white lights framing the windows. Tears began to fall from my eyes, then from his. He reaches for my hand. Cooper would love this, I said. Without skipping a beat, my husband responded. He absolutely would. He would love this. It's just scary. So I read that to the group and cried, because I'm a crier, apparently, and just talked about the future and what life looks like with a 13-year-old. I always say the sentence, we're living the life that I was scared of for so long. We're living severe nonverbal autism at 13, and we're just fine. Cooper is happy and healthy, and life is challenging and hard. And, we're looking at puberty and we're looking at high school. We have like so many things, and we're happy, and we're happy. And if I could just grab every mom or dad out there that has a newly diagnosed kid, and you're hearing this diagnosis, whatever it may be, and you're thinking, this will never be okay, because that's what it feels like sometimes. I want to just shake you gently and say, you're going to be so happy. You are going to have an amazing life, and so is your kid. This diagnosis it changes everything. It's okay to say that. But you're going to be so happy, and you're going to laugh really hard, and you're going to love really deep. It's going to be good. And then we talked about, what else do we talk about? I talked about a little bit about education, how hard that is sometimes, and how I'm really working on prioritizing the hard things in my life. And a lot of times autism how did I word it on the slide? Autism isn't the hardest thing in my life, but it is the biggest. And I'll just say it again. My son's autism isn't the hardest thing in my life, but it is the biggest. And so many people think, I could never do what you do. Autism has to be so hard. And I got lots of other challenges that are harder. I know that's hard to believe. But I think I have to turn my energy to some of those things. Cooper's fine. Cooper's great. I need to focus on relationships and boundaries, and there's only so much of me. I have 5 speaking requests in my inbox, and then my bestie told me she's having her weekend in April, and I was like, oh, shish kebab. And I don't want to miss everything with my kids. I'm traveling next week for work, and I'm missing Harbor's first field trip to the apple orchard, and I'm missing Sawyer's track and field day, and I feel like such a jerk. I didn't know that either. Well, I don't know. I didn't know. Parenting is hard. It's just like constantly juggling, and you just feel like do you ever feel like that? Like you're always failing? It's like, I just feel like it's like, I feel like I'm missing out on some things. So I'm feeling a little guilty about that. Sorry. I kind of got like lost there in my guilt. I just feel really bad. My husband just got home. He was out working. I know I'm not, Cindy, thank you. Well, I do have one thing in May. Oh, and for anyone watching, our next retreat is May, is it 16th through the 18th or 15th through the 18th? In San Antonio, Texas, on the Riverwalk. It is going to be phenomenal. It will be Carrie and Adrian and me, and it's, I can't start planning it yet. We have the venue and the date, and that's all I can do, and the speakers. We just got through this retreat. I just need like a little mental health before we can start thinking of that one. And that'll be a little different than what we just, oh, thank you, Lisa, 16th to the 18th. That'll be different than what we just had. So just a little bit about the retreats that we host. Our spring event is really educational focused. So we're focusing on topics. We want to help you learn and expand your mind. And then our event in September is more self-care, respite. So they each serve a different purpose. And someone on here is going to say, because you always do, why don't you have dads at your September retreat? And I'm just going to touch on it again. And someone told me I was gender stereotyping, but I'll tell you the gender stereotype that I'm doing, and I'll tell you why it's true. We've had events for men, and we're always asked about events for men, and the dads don't come. We want them to come, but when I asked my husband, would you go to a retreat? He's like, hell no. He's got to go fishing. I'd go to a brewery. Like, I would go hunting. But I don't think he wants to sit around and talk about his feelings. So we've noticed that when we have events for men, they just don't come. And we've thought about having couples events, but then there's no one to watch the kids. And so we don't want to put pressure on like mom coming alone. So if you guys have ideas, feel free to send them our way. We would love to figure out a way to make it work. We would love to. Hi, Jamie. Oh, did you hear my voice? Hi, Jamie. Jamie, how many years have we been married for? How many years? 16 or 17? 16 years. So we were married 3 years before Cooper was born. That's not right. We were in 2008, 9, 10. Well, Cooper was born in 2010. September 13th. Look on the wall. It's on that thing on the wall. We weren't married 3 years before we had Cooper, but we did have a miscarriage. So maybe that was part of it. Hi, Anne. The Texas retreat will be in May 2025 in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. And just to give you my dreams for this event. So if any of you know any awesome businesses that want to sponsor, we could use $1 million. I would like to get, why would my internet just go out right now? I would like to get like a Brene Brown to speak. Just kidding. I have Adrian and Carrie. I would like to have a tattoo artist that does mini tattoos. I've heard that's possible. Yeah, it's called Fine Line Tattoo. And so they'll have like a sheet with like 10 tattoos and you can just pick. I would like to do that. I've heard there's a possibility for a mechanical bull. I would like a dance party. We had a dance. My internet keeps cutting out. TV kept cutting out weekend. Is it because you're here? My internet, I've not had a problem. Now my internet won't work. No. Well, what do I do? Well, where's IT? Can I call IT? I'm kidding. We don't have IT. We're just a house. Okay. Well, that stopped working. So. Oh, I'm very sorry about that. I see like hundreds of you dropped off. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I have lots of ideas for the retreat. And I'm very, very, very excited. Okay. My internet's not working. Okay, guys, I'm going to hop off. Thank you all for being here. If you want to know more about the retreat, go to findingcoopersvoice.com. You can find out more there. I would love if you all came and joined my supporter group and chatted with me more. You can learn more about the retreats. You can get advanced registration. Yay. Okay. Bye.